In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact daily schedule that I've used to go from grinding in my 9 to 5 to being able to transition into a full-time income with my Amazon business. I'm going to be showing everything step by step, showing exactly why I did certain things at certain hours. So then you can be able to incorporate this and you too can be able to start your Amazon business and turn this into a full-time income while you're working your 9 to 5. If you don't know me, my name is Karen Mutombo. I've been selling on Amazon since 2019, so right before COVID. I made $100,000 in my first 13 months and now scaled beyond 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. I've helped multiple students across Canada and US on how to get started. And I recently also started selling on Walmart, which has been a very successful journey so far. But with that being said, before we get straight into the video, I just want to throw in 2 disclaimers. The first one, I want to mention that this is the schedule that worked for me. I'm not telling you to run this schedule by any means, but if you're in a spot where your back is against the wall, you have nothing to lose, and you're willing to go in grind mode, and it's the season where you're willing to lock in, then I highly recommend that you follow the schedule. Disclaimer number 2, I also want to mention that I was single when I ran this schedule. I was living with a roommate. I didn't have a partner at the time. I don't have any kids, and I didn't necessarily have any responsibilities. So if you got any of that, just know that you don't have to follow the schedule to the T. Just take the good, remove the bad, and adjust it for your specific situation. So with that being said, let's get straight to it. All right, so here it is. So this is the schedule that I was following, and I put everything step by step in here so you can fully understand why I was doing these things at certain times, and we're going to elaborate on those things. So the first of all, what I want you to understand is that I was working in 9 to 5, so from Monday to Friday, from 9 to 5, basically that's what I was doing, right? I did have a 1 hour break, so really I was working 35 hours a week instead of 40, so that did help for me to put in more time into Amazon. So the first thing I would do is wake up at 7, and then I would work out. And I wouldn't necessarily go to a physical gym. It's just because I was trying to maximize my time, and I knew that if I had to drive or even walk to a gym, I would waste a lot of time. So literally what I would do during this 1 hour session is do like one of those follow along workouts. So there's plenty of them on YouTube. So for example, if I go to YouTube right now, and then the guy that I was following is Midas. I don't know if you guys know him, but I would just do Midas workout, and he has a lot of like bicep workouts. And all I was doing is just using adjustable dumbbells, and I was working out with him, following along for like the 25 minutes, sometimes it was 45 minutes. The workout that I was actually following, you can see I've already watched these videos because I used to do that like every single day. So I was doing push-pull legs, and that's literally the workout that I was doing every single week. So I did not miss a single day just by doing that. So I was taking care of my body first thing in the morning, and that just helped me get in the groove, helped me just making sure that I get my body right, I get my mindset right, and whenever I'm able to move my body, it just makes me almost want to conquer the world. So that really helped me get in the groove and wanted to start my day with the first W. The second thing that I ended up doing was so basically while I was working out, I was also getting ready at the same time. So I was kind of like multitasking. So throughout that 1 hour, every time that I would get a break in my workout, I would like pack my bag. I would get the clothes that I would wear for me to go to work. I would do my breakfast. Like I would do a lot of stuff while I was basically resting. So that allowed me to save a lot of time and literally be out the door after like eating breakfast, doing all of that, be out the door by 8 a.m. because I had to catch my bus at like 8:07. So I had to, walk to the bus stop. And then from there, that's where I would have to commute to work. So I would take the bus instead of my car because I was working downtown. So I had to find a way. I didn't want to necessarily spend too much in parking and things like that. So that's why I was really taking the bus. But while I was taking the bus, the good thing with it was I could listen to music if I wanted to. But most of the time in the morning, I was mainly just watching YouTube videos or CEO interviews, podcasts, things like that, things that would help me feed my brain, right? Things that would put me in the right mindset to conquer the day. So it could be some motivational stuff. So I was really just trying to mix it up and not just get bored with one thing, but I would try to avoid listening to music from time to time. But obviously I'm human, and sometimes I would just want to listen to music, and I just did. Looking back, I definitely feel like I could have gone harder even there, just to making sure that I'm listening to the right things. But that's really what I was doing while I was commuting. Sometimes I would also manage my orders while I was, in the bus, just doing this from my phone. I was answering to customers whenever they had questions for me, things like that. So I would do this throughout that 1 hour that I had to go to work. Then when I would get to work, obviously I had to work. I was working as an IT analyst for this law firm in downtown Montreal. So I worked there the whole time from 9 a.m. all the way to 12. A very professional job. So it was actually a great job. There's nothing, I'm not one of those people that actually hated the 9 to 5. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Met a lot of good people. I have a couple of good friends in which I talk with till this day. So definitely a great job. Nothing wrong with it. Then after my job, so I would get a 1 hour lunch. And what I would do, this is the most important part, and that's why I color graded them in red. I mean in green, because when you're sourcing, that's what's going to help you find products. The number one activity that you could do in your Amazon business is sourcing. So whenever you're sourcing, the way it works is you're buying low, you're selling high, you're collecting the profits, and you're reinvesting, right? So throughout that 1 hour, what I would do is either do some online arbitrage. So I would look online for deals and making sure that I can buy it low enough to then sell it on Amazon. Or what I would do is actually just do some retail arbitrage. So because I work downtown, I was basically working under a mall, and then I would literally just go downstairs during my lunch, and I would scan. I would go inside the store, and then I would just scan products until my lunch break was done. So I would go to like Foot Lockers, I would go to Best Buy. At the time of a few years back, the Source existed at that point, but now they closed out. But I used to go to each and every single one of these stores, and I would literally come back from my job, and people would always see me with bags and stuff that I bought, and they were like, "Yo, why are you always buying this stuff?" And at the time, I was a little bit ashamed of telling people that I was making money outside of this job, so I was always making up some story. But looking back, I always should have just told people. And I think by now they probably know what I'm doing if they're watching this video. But that's really what I was doing during that 1 hour lunch. I would either physically scan products on there, or I would either do it online and just try to find products online and then order it so then it could be shipped to my apartment. So then when I was done with that, essentially I would go back to my 9 to 5, do some more work, doing what I need to do to make my weekly paycheck. Then when I was done, then I would commute back home. I would take the bus once again. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm being super transparent when I'm saying this, sometimes I would take a nap because I would just be exhausted, but I would do my best to try to establish a plan. Sometimes when I establish a plan on what exactly I'm going to do after work, am I going to be doing some what type of sourcing I'm going to do, what's the strategy, what's the game plan. I'm trying to look through my phone what's going to be on clearance in certain stores, for example. So I was really getting ready for what's about to come. Or sometimes I would just, I had a long day, I would just listen to music. I'm just being real. Or I would just listen to a podcast. So I would always try to stimulate my mind around that time. I would try to also feed it at times, just watching CEO interviews, things like that. So that's really what I did when I was commuting back home. Then when I would get back home, I would take a shower. It always made me feel like I was just, I feel like the energy that's just coming back into my body after I take a shower, and I was trying to take, I was alternating between hot and cold. Then after that, I would eat something real quick, and I would eat something not too heavy, just so I don't enter food coma, because that's a real thing. So I would try to eat something, at least a little bit lighter. And then from there, so I would either start sourcing. So what I ended up doing was sourcing from 6 p.m. all the way till 10 p.m. right? Because that was just the time that the store closed. Sometimes I would push it to 11 p.m. Most of the time I would just do from 6 all the way till 10. Now, what I would do once again during that time is I would do retail arbitrage most of the time, because that was the first business model that I started with, and I've been able to make a lot of money with it, just scanning clearance items, things that are going for way lower than retail price, and then sell it for retail price or more than that on Amazon. So products that are discontinued, most of the time discontinued products, for example, you would never find them online. A lot of times they're actually available in store. So that's one of the reasons that I started going to all these stores, and I have a full store list of which I used to go to, like stores like Canadian Tire, Marshalls, what's it called, the Nike outlet. I would go to the Adidas outlet. I would go to Best Buy, Staples, Walmart, the Source at the time when it existed. I would go there all the time. So all of these stores, I would go to them on a regular basis every single day. I would go to different ones. Sometimes I would go outside the city just to see if I can find some new stuff. And that was really my routine, guys. But you can see that, like, I was literally outside of my 9 to 5. I was really dedicating 1 hour throughout lunch for sourcing, and another 4 to 5 hours of sourcing when I get back home from work. So that's really 5 to 6 hours every single weekday that I was dedicating for finding more products. Now, the next thing that I did was that during the weekend, right, I would try to take it a little bit more relaxed. So what I would try to do is, first of all, in all honesty, I would not wake up at 7. I would probably wake up around like 7:30, 7:45. Just try to sleep in, just try to sleep in a little bit. And then from there, I would still do the same thing. I would still do the same type of workout at home with the adjustable dumbbells. And then, to be honest, in that time, that's usually where I would just chill. I would probably just eat something, maybe watch some entertainment online, maybe watch a little bit of Netflix, just really, relax, maybe do the dishes, clean, my apartment, clean the room that I'm in, things like that, right? And then when it 10 p.m. hit, because on weekends stores tend to open later on, so around like 9 or 10 a.m. So that's why at 10 a.m. I would really just leave my house and I would go out and source. Once again, same exact type of routine. So I would almost be out every single day, like 5 to 6 times every single week. And that was just the whole purpose, was just to source. That was because the number one activity that you could do when it comes to your Amazon business is source, right? I didn't necessarily fully understand at the time how to do online arbitrage, and I could have just stayed at home. But I also realized that retail arbitrage was just bringing in so much more money, right? Just so much more. Because of the type of products I was able to find, some of the products were selling faster. I could sometimes list them and buy later. So I was really leveraging as much as I could while I was doing retail arbitrage. And I was doing this in Montreal in Canada. So that was absolutely awesome. A great experience. And it really taught this whole schedule taught me, guys, is that it really taught me that I'm not as fragile as I thought I was. And I never worked this amount of hours ever in my life, right? That was actually the first time where, I was getting my body right. I was going to work. I was building my business. So I didn't really have any time for any BS. Like I didn't have time for chasing skirts. I didn't have time to do any of that, right? Because I would literally, the only time that I'll be home is to work out, eat, sleep, and shit. That's literally all I did. So I definitely encourage you guys to follow the schedule, because the more time you put into sourcing, the better you're going to get, and therefore the more products you will be able to find. Now, what I recommend the clients that I work with is anywhere between 10 to 20 hours per week. If you can dedicate that, then that's perfect. For me, I went really overdrive because I really wanted to get out of the situation that I'm in, and I felt like, later on people were going to count on me. So I felt felt like it was my responsibility to go all in and to make it undeniable that I'm going to succeed with this business. So this is going to be the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed and you've taken the good, removed the bad out of this schedule, depending on your specific situation. And with that being said, if you're a Canadian looking to scale your Amazon business, definitely send me a message on my Instagram so I can help you out. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.